Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you the State of the Saints podcast halftime report. The New Orleans Saints are down to the Carolina Panthers by a score of 13-0. This game, man, this is pretty bad stuff right here, man, especially coming from the offensive side of the football. The offense constantly, continuously shoots themselves in the foot and really just constantly just puts this team behind the eight ball, not being able to sustain drives, uh, not being able to, like get away from the penalties. This is just some bad football, man, being played all around. This is some bad stuff, man. And you got to kind of look at the coaching staff when it comes to this, man. Being undisciplined as they are. Last week they had a bunch of penalties. This week in the first half they have a bunch of penalties. There was a couple plays on the drive, on the opening drive for the New Orleans Saints. They were actually driving, could have possibly got a field goal at best, at worst, I should say, and they just couldn't get the job done. You have yourself a blocking, illegal block penalty by Mark Ingram. You end up converting on a third down. They end up calling it back for a holding by Nick Vanette. This team just constantly just shoots itself in the foot and just absolutely incredible. My takeaway from this is, ball security has been an issue over the last couple of weeks with the Saints. You have Alvin Kamara fumbling, picking up the ball. Carolina picks the ball up, returns it for a touchdown. Ball security is continuously being an issue with this team, especially in crucial parts of the game when you cannot afford to fumble the football. I mean, it's just as simple as that. I know people are just constantly, ragging on Jameis Winston's performance. Yes, there were a couple passes that were terrible, especially the one where he had Adam Troutman wide open. He had another one, where I think he missed Jarvis Landry right before that blocked field goal took place to end the first half. But I mean, look, I'm gonna be real. If I'm looking at some things and I'm watching this game, like Jameis Winston to me is not the issue. I mean, he's not the biggest issue. Now, what can you possibly say looking at this dude as far as like him missing a couple passes, which I'm saying sailed on him. But what can you possibly just point to? If you're saying that he's the main reason why they're losing this game, I would encourage you to watch another game. Like this isn't it. Like it just they continuously shoot themselves in the foot. I see people, hitting me up asking me, does Andy Dalton need to go into the game? I mean, would it change anything? Would it change the fact that you still having holding penalties? Would it still change the fact that you have false starts? Would it change the fact that, you're still shooting yourself in the foot from an offensive side of football? Would it negate Alvin Kamara's fumble? So I get it, right? Looking at a couple throws and they crucial throws, right? Yeah, they so crucial. Let's blame him. But nah, man. I mean, if I'm adding up this pie, this dude wouldn't even be. He wouldn't be in my top two. He just wouldn't be in my top two. I'm not trying to be a defender of this guy. I'm just saying, based on what I'm seeing in the game, I'm seeing a very undisciplined football team. Very undisciplined. They're very undisciplined. There's penalties everywhere, and that is the story of this game. That's the reason why they can't sustain drives. That's the reason why they can't go on some of these long drives to keep them in the game. But the best part about all of this is, for the exception of that return for a touchdown, the defense has held the Carolina Panthers to only 6 points. So if they can continue to come out here and the offense figures it out, how about ball security? I mean, running the football, has been pretty good. They average 4.5 yards a carry. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries for 37 yards. You got Mark Ingram, 2 carries for 8 yards. And then you got Winston, who missed the fumble and picked it up and ran it for 5 yards. I mean, look, if you can sustain some of these drives and you can like stay on the field, maybe get your defense, going, allow them to be able to like be on the sidelines and maybe take a little breather, I think you should be fine. Like, I'm just saying, man, I don't know. The Saints historically are a second half team. The reason why they're not winning this game is because they keep on shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. They clean up the penalties and they sustain some drives. I think they should be fine. I'll read a few of your comments. I ask that you hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Let's see. And why is nobody talking about why the run blocking is so terrible this game? Well, I mean, look, the defensive line of Carolina is nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? I told people this. I said, if you think that the New Orleans Saints were just going to walk into Carolina and just come away with a victory because of all the narratives, you're sadly mistaken. Let's see. It's not all on Jameis. It's mostly penalties and lack of discipline. Man, I'm telling you, man, I see people like, man, Jameis this, Jameis that. Look, yes, he missed Adam Troutman in the open field. Yes, he did. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. Yes, and that pass that he threw to Alvin Kamara sailed. But for the most part, like I said, if I'm divvying up blame, he wouldn't be the first two priorities that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the play calling, and I'm also just looking at just the undiscipline of this, being undisciplined when it comes to this team. I don't know. Like, I know people are talking about, Andy Dalton coming into the game. I mean, I'm just saying, like, based on what you see, like from them being undisciplined, what can Andy Dalton actually bring to the table? What can he actually honestly do that he can add to this team that, like, even if he is going out there and he's efficient, right? He's throwing the passes and they still getting holding calls and they still getting false starts. Like, how in the world can you save that? I don't know. I don't get it. Dude, you're not let me see. Your team has a coaching issue. Your OC plays for 3rd and 7 instead of not playing for 3rd down. This is a poorly coached team. Yeah, I mean, they looking like it. I mean, I said it in a tweet on Twitter. I said Sean Payton is looking like the greatest coach of all time right now. He's looking like the greatest coach of all time because, man, and you see a difference in this team now that he's not there. I mean, yeah, you had some penalties and stuff like that. And yeah, there was some time where it was undisciplined, but man, TJ, you are defending Winston. He is terrible. I ain't defending nobody. I'm just saying, like, based on like, if I'm divvying up some blame, I'm saying, like, people acting like this dude is the number one blame for them losing this game right now, and he's not. I'm sorry if they ain't what you want to hear. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you expected for me to come on here and read Jameis Winston a riot act, but find another show for that. I'm not going to blame somebody if I'm feeling like they not the main blame for the team being down. I mean, Alvin Kamara fumbled the football. They returned it for a touchdown. They put them up by 7. The defense only put up 6 points, right? So if Alvin didn't fumble the football, as terrible as this team offensively has been playing, the score will only be 6-0. So it's not like they're lighting it up offensively either. That's all. That's the whole point that I'm getting. Like, I'm not going to sit up here. Like, I'm not sitting up here and I'm not going to trash the dude just constantly like y'all want to. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I know y'all probably want me to do that, but I'm not going to do it. That dude is not the main blame. Now, you can talk about some of the throws. I'm with you, but he is not the main reason why this team is losing right now. He's not. So if that's the narrative that you want to believe, maybe somebody else is talking about how terrible Jameis is, and you can flip over to that. You can't even get excited when defense give you the ball back because offense can't get nothing going. Exactly. I mean, it's the offense is just sputtering right now. I mean, I don't know, man. They make some good plays. They make, some good throws, some good runs, and then it just goes back with penalties. That's the story of the first half. I mean, the defense is playing outstanding. You finally getting on the board with some sacks, right? You got JT Gray and Carl Granderson. They combined for a sack. You had Cameron Jordan getting a sack. So they're getting pressure on Baker Mayfield. And for the most part, they're trying to neutralize Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he had a big run to begin the game. But besides that, they kind of been keeping him in check, keeping him at bay. And, got to give a shout out to Pete Warner, who continues to just be a bright spot in this defense. He's leading the team in tackles right now with 6. So, man, this whole team is poo. Man, the sad thing about this is, man, they so talented. They got all this talent on this team. They got all this talent. They got talent galore, and yet they just can't put it together. These last couple of weeks, they just could not put it together. And this has just been a continuous thing, right? I mean, in the first half, They just have not had any answer at all. You know what I'm saying? For anything offensively. It's always like when teams are, trying to sit on their lead, that's when they start to see like openings. And man, look, the worst thing the New Orleans Saints did in this game was give the Carolina Panthers hope. That first drive that they had down there, they can talk about how the Panthers defense made a stand. They did not. That was all penalties, because of the offense. They shot themselves in the foot. This is what you didn't want. Like this team is not good. Like the Panthers, they are not good. They are not a good football team. And if honestly, as of right now, if you're neck and neck with a team like this, you're not a good football team as of right now. As of right now, the New Orleans Saints are not a good football team. They're good defensively, but as an overall team, they are not good. They are not a good football team. Good football teams don't do some of the things that the New Orleans Saints are doing in the first half and have done over the last couple of weeks. So they got to figure it out, man. I mean, it's still early in the season. It's not like everything is just all, saying gloom and, and everything is just over. I mean, you can fix some of these issues. You still have games remaining. Hell, you still got this game remaining. But you cannot continue to go on this same trajectory. You cannot do that. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand what the heck is going on, but they got to figure this thing out. So long story short, in the second half, I expect for the Saints to maybe sustain some drives, give the defense a chance to get a little Gatorade in their system. Hopefully they can continue to get pressure on Baker Mayfield, knock him off his spot. And maybe we can get back to, maybe the offense sustaining some drives to get up out of here, man. I don't care what the score is at the end of the day. I don't care if the score is 13 or 14. I can care less. As long as we get out of here with the win, let's make sure, we chill out on the penalties. You know what I'm saying? Because those penalties are drive killers. And let's work on some ball security. That's just the way. That's what I'm looking at right now. All right. But you all enjoy the second half. We'll be back for the post-game show, win, lose, or draw here on the State of the Saints podcast. Papa, thank you very much for $5. Says everything looks too difficult right now for the Saints. They need to simplify the game plan and get these guys some confidence. Yeah, I agree. They need to figure something out because right now it's just not working. Enjoy the second half, Who Dat Nation. We'll be back for the post-game show. There's still the second half to go. The game isn't over. Hopefully we be back in better spirits than we are right now. Till next time, all I got to say is